Hi there. Sorry for the late start tonight. I had another live stream to do, and I've just been behind, man. It's been a crazy 3 weeks. If you follow me on my personal page, you know what I've been doing, and it's like everything but my job. But it is our job to be a good human, and I think that what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks absolutely counts as good humaning. So I apologize for being a couple minutes late, 20 minutes late. That is not always good humaning, but I have a real good excuse because I had to wait to bring this girl right here on camera. Yay! Hi. This familiar face to everyone in our Maintain program. This is Coach Kavlin. Hi,
hello,
Coach Kavlin.
Hi.
Tell us about what's going on.
Well, I'm just so excited to be on here, and it's daylight out because usually my videos are super early and it's still dark. But I'm here to announce that we have raised $1,000 already for My Girls on the Run fundraiser.
2,000.
And 2,000 with your match. So I'm just floored. I just can't believe it. So, and I need to thank everybody in this fitness protection program that decided just to go ahead and support me in this.
Well, thank you for supporting us and supporting all of our runners the way that you do. And don't forget, we have a second match. An anonymous donor her match kicks in now for an additional $500. So for the next $500, it'll be matched dollar for dollar by an anonymous donor. So let's try to get Kavlin to that $3,000 mark. Girls on the Run of Tampa Bay benefits. You have all kinds of kids. Tell us about them.
Absolutely. So this program is 4 counties wide. So it's Hillsborough County, Pasco, Pinellas, and Sarasota. And Hillsborough County is actually the 7th or 8th largest school district in the nation. Wow. So it's wide reaching. The program has 2 different segments now, one 3rd through 5th grade for girls and one for middle school as well. They just rolled out this last year. And it's all about just inspiring girls to be joyful and confident and healthy for themselves. So I wish I had it when I was growing up. So
me too. That sounds really cool.
And they do it all just we do it through group play and setting tiny goals. And the ultimate goal for this is for them to run a 5K. So at the end of the 10-week program. And they all do it. And it's fantastic.
It's so cool. That is so amazing. Well, thanks you again for all that you do. We are so excited for you because I've been clicking on your link for a while to keep up with your fundraising, and it seems stuck at like 18% for weeks and weeks. And I was like, maybe we broke the system. So I'm glad to know that we did, and that you're actually at 1,000. That's amazing. Keep the donations coming if you don't mind. If you put the link back in the comments, and we'll leave it in the show notes and remind people we got another $500 match. Let's go max it out.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. And we all have a good night with your 6 hours of daylight remaining in Florida right now. It feels like it's like light really long there, huh?
Oh, it is. It is so late. I'm trying to put my kids to bed and it's still light out. And I'm like, it's almost 9 o'clock. Let's go.
Yeah, we're there too. And my kids sleep in the basement. Which sounds terrible, but it's a fully finished basement, to be fair. It's not like we just like throw them in there and slam the door. But there's not a lot of light. And but they come upstairs and they're like, it's bright outside. The sky's awake. I'm like, fuck it. Mom's about to sleep. Get in there. Yes. Back in the basement. Oh my gosh. Anyway, with that, thank you so much. Go enjoy the sunlight and good luck playing whack-a-mole, trying to get them all back to stay in bed.
I know, right? Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Hi. So for those of you who just joined the broadcast, this is Coach MK. I'm the founder of the Fitness Protection Program. This is my favorite time of the week where I get to answer all the questions burning up the hearts, minds, and souls of all of my runners in our programs. We've got 3 programs. First, we're going to start with weekly wins, counting up all the wins for all our runners in Runner Interrupted, Maintain, Build, and Rebuild. And then we're going to start taking the questions from our clients one program at a time, starting with Maintain and working our way all the way up to, starting with Build and then working our way all the way up to Maintain. But first, the weekly wins. In Runner Interrupted, Coach Amy finally has got her running mojo back and is rebuilding her running habit. We're excited for that, Coach Amy. You've had a rough year. Coach Amy is a teacher. The problem with teachers is that they can't do the thing they're trained to do, and people don't want to pay them to do it. because no one knows what's going on right now. And it is really unfair to be a teacher most of the time. It is particularly unfair to be a teacher during a time of COVID. Amy is one of the most dedicated teachers I've ever met, and my heart's with her. I know this has been a rough period for you. I'm proud of you for persevering. Megan Rule bought herself a membership at a stand-up paddleboard place and is gone every damn weekend. That is a big deal. I have never actually done stand-up paddleboarding or kayaking. I don't like water. I don't like being wet. It's killing me right now that my hair is still a little bit. I didn't have time to dry it all because I got a late start on my run today because I forgot it was Father's Day, y'all. I'm trash. I didn't realize it till the middle of the day when I was cleaning out my email from earlier in the week with several Father's Day reminders, and I'm like, oh, it's the day that ends or why. We'll celebrate it soon. I feel really guilty that we didn't really celebrate it properly today. I'll put something out of my rear end tonight. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Who's winning at life right now? Anyone who remembered Father's Day, because this girl did not. Anyway, everyone build, counting up other wins. Everybody remembered Father's Day. Yay, everybody, except for me. Pat Humes managed to do her run, get her run in early, and made 55 minutes with 6 accelerators. That is huge. Huge. Congratulations. Patricia Luna went for a run on her rest day because she wanted to, not because she had to. Again, that is huge. I love hearing that. Not that I'm saying like, oh, you must always run on a day off, but rather I just wanted to, so I'm going to, and not because I feel like I should or that I'm afraid that I'm behind. When it comes from, I just want to get out there because I get to do this one thing when I'm running that I don't ever normally get to do, whether that's Pokemon Go or unpacking your feelings. I really hope you get to do it today, and I hope you get to do it a lot. Congratulations, Patricia. In Rebuild, Christian Fraser had a great appointment with her doctor and now has a solid plan to help her feel better. That's amazing. I know that advocating for yourself can be really hard. Misogyny in medicine is very real. Fat phobia is too. Don't get me started on that. So there can be a lot to deter us from wanting to go to the doctor in the first place, especially when they don't take our complaints, much less our pain, seriously. Advocating for yourself in the face of someone with more education than you'll ever care to get can be very difficult. So I'm always proud of people who do it anyway. In Maintain, Karen Sutton is still running 5 times a week, even though things have been really challenging. She started Couch 5K to support her 12-year-old who was having some struggles. But after week 6, the continuous 20 minutes running was too tough, so they moved over to Rebuild, which she finds more fun. On Tuesday and Saturday, Karen is doing Maintain as written by herself. On Saturday, she did 9 miles and really enjoyed it. It was her longest run since February. She also says, thank you for the tether to the tribe. I have not posted in the group much, but I felt happy knowing that you all are there because I'm coached and loved. And you are coached and loved, Karen. I know that this year was not what you had intended. I remember back when we were excited to use polls. We were talking about getting your back real strong so that you could do a trail race, and then boom, pandemic. And this rest of this year is just not, it's not what anyone anticipated. It's not what any of us expected. But I just want to tell you that you are dealing with all of these twists and turns beautifully. I could not be more proud of you. I really couldn't. I do follow you on Facebook. I do pay attention. I'm not always there because I'm never sure if I'm crossing that line where it's like really weird that your coach is saying hi. But I want you to know that I do see you. I do care. And I am very, very proud of you for still being here. For everyone else, I really want you to pay attention to that statement. The thing that I get the most out of this from Karen is that there is something to having a community. Like I said in my Thursday email, it's not a lot, but it's not nothing. In a time when it feels like everything's out of control, it is centering and amazing to have an excuse to leave the house each day, a purpose when you do, and something to accomplish while you're out there. Be it, I'm just going to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and not answer my phone, not respond to email. I'm going to listen to this podcast. I'm going to forget what's going on in the world. Granted, at a time when a lot of us are feeling very, very, very much accused for tapping out too much too frequently, you've still got to take time to nourish yourself any way, shape, or form. Some of us are going to need a little bit more self-care than others. There's no judgment here. No one's keeping score. My point is only this. There is no requirement for deserving self-care. We are in a time, pandemic aside, everybody needs it. Even when we're not in a pandemic and even when we're not at a place where racial tensions have reached a boiling point, because some people are just real tired of being oppressed. And I get that viscerally. Anyway, Karina Terry celebrated her 50th birthday this week. She's also doing a great job moving runs around to make the plan work for her. Proud of you. I know that is really one of the biggest curves that runners have to climb when they come into my programs. And they're like, well, what do I do? I need explicit instructions. And I'm like, you do what you need to do. And here are the guidelines. They're not instructions. I'm very clear about that. And I know it can be really disorienting. It can feel very loosey-goosey, which is not the case at all. I'm actually a fairly structured person. As long as my run gets done, what the run looks like, I don't really care. Everybody else is going to care, though, because I don't get my run done. I'm not a happy camper. I'm not real pleasant to be around, as I can attest. So I tell you that to tell you this. Getting to that point where you're confident and comfortable, taking control of your training, moving things around to suit your life, and not being frustrated with your life for not suiting the training plan, that in and of itself is a bigger win than some of us will ever completely understand. Congratulations. Helen Foley has had a major mental shift. Instead of waking up thinking, I can't believe I have to run again, she wakes up and thinks, why wouldn't I run today? It'll be fun. That's, again, huge and true. I started run commuting everywhere I need to go during the pandemic. It's been kind of fun. I haven't filled up my gas tank since February. And it's really and truly interesting because, again, maybe it's because I have 4 kids. Maybe it's because I work from home. My husband does too at the moment. But it's the only time I'm ever alone. It's the only time I don't have mom. It's the only time I'm not answering demands. Oh, I'm on a run. And I really hope I can get everyone in my purview to a place where this person's on a run. Instead of being annoyed that they're doing something so leisurely, it's like, oh, okay. They'll call me when they call me. And that'll be a really, really terrific place to be. So congratulations on making that mental shift to like, oh, I get to go be by myself and not answer to anybody for an hour. Yay! Coach MK, can I do too? No, not on a Monday. Not a great idea. Let's work our way there slowly. Now, Nicole Yule has found her shuffle and did a 2-hour long run on the treadmill. Woo, those are huge. Nicole is one of our newest clients in fitness protection. And this has been finding her shuffle has been a challenge. I imagine shuffling for 2 hours on a treadmill. All of that together is like win, 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 bang in 2 little sentences. Well done, Nicole, and congratulations. Kara Gerard is going to take her PTO. I didn't think that was possible. Kara is our wayfinder. She's our information graphic designer. She is amazing at that, and she works like a beast. I've never seen anything like it. She does not working 24 hours a day for us. She actually has a day job, and her day job is going through some stuff right now. And I'm proud of her for taking the time that she needs and making some really tough choices and some really tough decisions at a time when it feels like everything is tough and isn't really a choice. Okay, starting out with the questions and ask away. Here we go with build. Hi, Coach MK. I thought I was more tired than usual due to the stress of the pandemic, but it turns out my hemoglobin is low. Ugh, that's hard. I switched a few months ago to a mostly vegetarian diet, and this might have something to do with it. It could. I had noticed my runs seemed to be getting harder rather than easier and required more walking or occasionally skipping altogether. Do you have any ideas or thoughts on how to keep improving my running habit while I sort this out? Number one is you're going to have to be really, really gracious on yourself. With major dietary changes like this, I'm supportive of all of them. It's people, we have vegans in our programs. We have vegans in our programs who are like this is how you pronounce it. It's vegan, not vegan. We have people who are we have people who keep kosher. We have people who keep halal. We have a lot of different dietary preferences for a lot of different reasons here. And as everyone knows, I have celiac. Didn't choose it. It chose me. Whatever. So I tell you that to tell you this. It's going to take some time. And you're just going to have to be gentle. Walk as much as you need to. My legs are feeling really fatigued right now because my hemoglobin is low and my iron is low. And I ran out of pills and just didn't think about buying more because it wasn't on the top of my priority list until I went for a run and my legs were like, so. Be kind, be gentle, really talk to your nutritionist. I think I know who put this question in, and I'm pretty sure you're working with one. Do mention this to them. And if they don't refer you to your PCP, it might be time to go see your PCP and ask for something a little more aggressive. The old school iron can be a constant. Used to constipate us a lot. It wasn't really pleasant. Now they mix it with magnesium, a touch of vitamin C, and they call it something different. They call it either ferritin. And it doesn't quite have the same effect on the body. So I tell you that to be like, keep asking, keep advocating for yourself. The running, you're doing all the right things. Don't worry about it. As long as we're in the habit of making time for it every day, it doesn't matter if it was a run or it was a walk, the speed will come back when this issue is sorted out. But really, that's more important than anything else. Right now, if you're trying to force the run, with low hemoglobin, you're not going to do yourself any good. It's going to cause more problems than it's going to solve. I know it is really frustrating being where you are right now, but I'm proud of you for being tenacious. I'm proud of you for continuing to do the hard things and try to solve these problems. And I'm proud of you for still being here, asking questions and doing the work. That more than anything else I know it's easy for me to say, don't worry about it, but I promise there's frustration here, but there's not a problem. Keep showing up as much as you can, and remember that walking counts. It is not less than. We will never segregate on the basis of pace, now or ever. Okay, moving over to questions and rebuild. I may be your lamest client ever, but what I crave is boringness. I feel you. In past podcasts, we talked about how what makes me feel comfortable, happy, and safe is routine. And the things that make me feel comfortable, happy, and safe are boring to other people. I've had excitement. I've lived all over the world. I've done really stupid things. I've done pretty much everything I've ever wanted to do. And there's nothing cooler than knowing exactly what I'm going to do today and not having to ask questions about whether or not I'll have my job tomorrow. There's something so relieving about the mendacity of everyday life. It's really cool. I enjoy it. And I don't think you're lame. I think you're amazing. I really do. So a plan that I want is literally don't have to think about what I'm doing because it's nearly the same every day. How can I modify so the workouts and strength so it's more repetition and less thinking? Signed, task initiation challenge. What I would do if I were you in Rebuild, what I tell people is that you are totally fine with avocado toast, which is 30 to 60 minutes of easy effort running with 4 to 6 strides, accelerators thrown into the middle. You can do that every day and be just fine, as long as you're not bothered by your pace at 140 and you're not frustrated and needing to slow down after the accelerators. And if you are, then don't put them at the middle of the run, put them at the end of the run. That's fine too. Placement doesn't matter. Okay. You're going to be totally fine. You can do avocado toast 6 days a week, you get all kinds of benefits, and I never get bored with it. I don't think you will either. But that is an option available to you. I've been feeling pretty crappy lately, and I'm certain it's a combination of stress. You think? Most of us are. You're good. Seriously, I say that not to be bitchy, but rather, yeah, everything right now is really stressful. And I think we have to acknowledge that. It's not like, well, this shouldn't be stressful for me because, again, that's stupid. And I know that we're a society steeped in shame. It's how we, from cradle to grave, from church to school to community college and every school in between, it's all about shame as a deterrent to, like, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, should, and it's nothing but a cycle of shame. So I want you to understand that, like, there's nothing shameful about surviving in a stressful period. You're right exactly where you need to be. I'm not about looking at you and saying, well, if you're cracking, there's something wrong with you. I'm always going to be like, let's look at that big old ball of stress you're carrying. That's a thing. That is real. That has impact. We are not going to ignore it because there's no way we could. It's not impacting your life because you're deficient. It's impacting your life because it's freaking huge. So I'm certain it's a combination of stress, not sleeping well, and eating choices that have lots of room for improvement. I'm slowly working on all these things, but I've noticed I've gotten in a vicious cycle of not feeling well, thereby skipping my run, which makes me feel worse. Any suggestions on breaking the cycle? One of the things that I have learned to love a whole lot during this pandemic are nut thins. They are a type of cracker, and I don't even eat crackers often. But there are these crackers with this like cheese like nitric acid. It's amazing. It's great on the tongue, and it destroys my gums. My gums are like inflamed or on fire. But somehow I want to eat a whole box, or I'll sit down with my kids and we will eat a whole box, and then my gums will burn. And you would think that gum burning sensation would be a deterrent, but no, because they're that good and I like them that much. So breaking the habit of, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to eat a whole box of crackers has been a tough one, because I'm the sort of person who has really not always had problems with this. When I'm really stressed out, I forget to eat or I don't think about it. And for me, it has to be like, oh, I have to get into a place where eating is rote. There are good options that I can microwave really quickly if I don't remember until 8:30 to eat. Then I can have something ready in 5 to 10 minutes. And that's the hardest thing to do. So the modification, if you were going to make one about breaking the cycle, it would be, sometimes I don't like to think of it as eating a little better, but about recognizing the connection between what you eat and how you feel. I know that if I don't have a proper dinner but I eat a box of those crackers. They're going to taste real good. But I'm going to wake up feeling terrible. And my gums are going to be swollen. So it's so nasty, but they're amazing. So I say there, I will limit the times a day I can have them. I put them up because I will not get on a chair to get something out of a high shelf late at night because I don't want to like run it over the floor to wake the kids up. It makes me think twice about how badly do I really want that thing? Not that badly. So anything that I would eat mindlessly, I put up there. It's not locked. It's not like it's just one extra step, and that is enough to deter me completely. Where I'm like, nah. So it could be something that simple for you, because eating an actual meal and then it makes it easier to get a good night's sleep, which in turn makes it easier to get out of bed in the morning. Not saying it's going to be easy, but it could be easier. Two other things, and remember, I'm not a nutritionist. This is just something that I do. B12 is amazing. This stuff goes a long way. I get lozenges. I pop them in my mouth whenever I remember to do them. 2 in the morning. And then, I mean, really, you only need 2 a day. But in times like this, when our cortisol is high and our stress is really high, then our B12 and our ferritin are going to be really, really low. And that's a side effect of just cortisol, the stress hormone. So B12 is fantastic, and ferritin is too. So if you could make like one small change, I would start with that. You know, it's better to get ferritin through nutrition, through food, through eggs and spinach and all that stuff. But if you're not eating that now, there's a reason. Let's wait for that later. Let's start with the easy stuff and then move to the bigger steps as you have room for those lately. And hopefully those 2 things would assist with sleeping. And we can sort of take it from there. Because I know that I do best when I get my run done in the morning. And then go, if I run in the evening, because it was an option at the time and I just wanted to go for a second run. By the time I made it to lunchtime, I'm lucky if I get 1 run done. And maybe a walk later if I'm lucky. So I tell you that to tell you this. If we think about sometimes as well, thinking about all the things that are better or preferable about running in the morning can be enough to be that, not necessarily a kick in the pants, but to pull me right out of bed to be like, all right, I'm going before it gets too hot. All right, I'm going because I don't like the post-breakfast craze in the house where everyone decides that they're like really energetic and get a little mean. So I find that reason to get out the door. I'm going to get up before this starts, and it might be the only time I hurry myself during the course of the day. That might be a really good place to start because a whole lot goes into not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. Let's start with B12 and a little, maybe a reward, your favorite. I don't know. I've got this vanilla ghee that's really expensive from Whole Foods, and when I need a reward, I put that in my coffee. And I know it sounds ridiculous putting butter in coffee. I don't do it because it's bulletproof, but because it tastes really good. And adding that little bit of soluble fat, it's amazing. Anyway, so let's find breaking the cycle can be as simple as like remembering why you like it, rewarding yourself for doing it, and having a little something to boost your energy along the way. I can't find a running attire that I like how they fit, feel comfortable, and look good. Have you ever thought about designing a line of running gear that fits real people, i.e. not overweight, but not a super toned athlete's body? I know you have a lot on your plate, but I enjoy running a lot more if there were clothes that fit well and I wasn't constantly tugging on. For reference, I've tried all the major brands and some lady-specific ones, and nothing seems to fit quite right. Funny enough, yes, I have. I used to work with a nonprofit that bought women out of bondage and taught them trades in Southeast Asia, or rather rescue them from bondage. And we made a lot of clothes, high-end clothes. We made shirts for Prada. They made my wedding dress. We had a lot of designers in the factories over there. And I have thought about starting this again because some of it, when you're making it at scale, quality gets really tricky, mainly because consumers don't want to pay for things. We're used to something fitting really well 2 or 3 times and then totally falling apart. But we would rather spend $60 on 3 pairs of pants that we know are going to fall apart than 1 pair of $80 pants that lasts the whole year and still looks good. And I know that's the consumer culture is changing, but that is where fast fashion has been for so long that I have been toying with the idea of like, well, I could do this. I had designed swimsuits for a while when I was in Hong Kong and couldn't find any that I liked. Why not? So it's not something I'm going to start tomorrow, but it is something that's been in the back of my head. My final word on some of those lady brands. Their issue is that they use professional runners as fit models. Professional runners who, if you remember my post on race weight, don't have body fat. Their body fat is dangerously low. So taking their bodies and scaling up is never going to quite achieve the curves that a lot of us who are not professional runners have. It's not just you, I promise. It's hard. I don't like running in pants or capris for that reason too. Anything that doesn't slide down makes a muffin top, and it's not and a camel toe, and that's just too much pressure on my innards during a run to feel good. And anything that, well, it's too tight to not be comfortable. And then I feel like I want to hide things. So I'm not a very large person. So when clothing is pinching me in places to show rolls, you know something's wrong with it. So there's something wrong with a whole lot of running clothes. Eventually, it is something that we would like to do, and we want to have multiple fit models for multiple sizes so that we do plus size correctly. Because I'm tired of only having 2 brands I can go to grab anything larger than 2XL. That's cut well and looks good. And if I can't find it, I'm going to have to make it, aren't I? See how that goes. Tell all your friends to join the next cycle of build, which is going to be opening up. We're going to have to scale up this company and scale up some operations before we can do that, though. I have big ideas and bigger dreams, but I'm going to need a bigger client base and revenue base before I can go push any of them. During my avocado test run, I could feel my calves aching as I ran up hills. That means your glutes are not firing. I thought this meant that I was not using my glutes appropriately, so I started concentrating on that. But then I felt like I was sashaying side to side too much. Maybe I'm not running properly. I came home foam rolled, front and backs of legs, but still feeling sore a day later. Any corrections or tips? Honestly, that's really it. If you have an opportunity to get on a Bosu ball, I would definitely do that. Another thing you can do is to stand on the edge of a stair, putting the balls of having your ball of your foot on the edge of the stair so that your heel dangles off, and do a couple squats that way, slowly, and keeping your balance. That sort of thing is going to fire all of your glutes at once. It's also a good way to fall, so be real careful about how you do it. But strengthening them and running hills, not aggressively hard. You are going to have to slow your roll as you go up the hill. Those are going to be 2 of the better things that you can do to stop that from happening. And I say this too, there are some pairs of shoes that just don't let your feet splay or work the way that they want to, because with all the work that we're doing here in fitness protection, you're going to have really strong feet, and then you might find that what you need is a less supportive shoe so your feet can do what they want to do. I know I have been running downtown a lot. I've not been running less than I usually do, but I've also been running behind, so I'm running faster, trying to get to the protest to meet my people, to get to the medic team, to get to the bodyguard tent, trying to check in on all the people that I'm checking in on. And sometimes my runs downtown, I'm like running marathon pace or faster. I'm just like not quite 5K pace. I'm not that eager to see anyone, but I'm running harder than I normally would for a 2.5, 3 mile run each day. And my calves are toast. So part of that is that I'm stronger and I don't need to be running in some of the supportive shoes, but I'm also on my feet for hours when I get there. So I do need the supportive shoes. It's catch-22. And no, I can't carry shoes in my bag because when I'm standing walking around, you want to be as light as humanly possible, especially when you have to change into the heavier gear like I usually do in the evening. So I tell you that to tell you this. Look at your shoes. Maybe it's time for something a little more neutral. Maybe that would be helpful too. So congratulations. Your calves being overworked is a good thing. If it was just your shin, I would be like, but if it's the shin and calf and that's the whole thing, I think this is a good thing. I really do. So let's see if maybe, just maybe, a little bit of glute strengthening and shoe lightening can go a long way. Here we go. Last bit, maintain. Hi, can you explain the physiologic reason for the strides during an otherwise easy effort run or long run? Is it ever okay just not to do them and keep it all easy, or are there disadvantages to that? Very simple. Your fast twitch muscles. We don't really, when we talk about them, we sound really stupid. I need more fast twitch muscles. I would like to train my fast twitch muscles. And it doesn't really work that way when you're not an elite or professional runner. We need to recruit muscles. We need to activate muscles. We need to engage muscles. And when it comes to your fast twitch muscles, we're not going to be using them all year long. We're only going to be using them in hopes of getting a little bit faster. We can do that through strength. All we have to do is wake them up. That's it. And you don't have to wake them up for very long. So strides are physiologically the most efficient thing you could do to keep your speed, to fire up your fast twitch muscles just a little bit every day. And then you do you have to worry about losing your speed? No, not ever, because you've been doing strides and strides are plenty. And that's why we do them. It's just to wake up your fast twitch muscles and say hi. You don't actually have to train them or do very much with them. You just have to wake them up once a day. So no, do you have to do them at all? No. There are many routes to faster. It's not like you won't get faster if you don't do strides. Strides are just a really efficient way to do it. So if you don't, what's the difference between doing them and not doing them? Not huge. Honestly, not. The problem is the type of thinking that a person can come to me with. Does this matter? This isn't the most important thing. Well, stop doing that. Does this other thing matter? It's not the most important thing. So then you're only doing the jogs. We really need to do the warm up to protect your joints. We really need to do the cool down to protect your muscles, tendons, and ligaments long term, because by softening your muscles, we are decreasing the stress that we're putting on the ligaments. I'm streaming. Don't get too naked too quickly, please. Sorry. Thanks. I think I was talking about ligament. Yeah, so we do the mobility work and the foam rolling so that by we're not putting too much tension on our ligaments. That assists with the longevity. Is it the most important thing? No, but it's pretty darn important. Same thing for the strides. Are they the most important thing? You can totally get away with not doing them. And it's not like you're necessarily like, you are doomed to lose your speed if you don't. So if you don't like them, I say cut them. I don't really care. And it's not going to impact the outcome. What's going to get you in the long run is if you're doing work that you don't enjoy and you don't see the point of and you don't see a payoff for. That is going to get you faster than anything. So it's about the physiological. We got to keep the physiological and the psychological balanced whenever we do it, pretty much, well, in anything and everything that we do. Because none of us, we're rational, sentient humans. We're not going to do things that have no purpose and that don't seem to have any reason. So I can tell you physiologically all day long that these are really paramount, but if you don't like them and you don't see the point, then nothing I say is going to matter. So rather than try to give you some big compelling reason, I say next time, just keep doing your easy effort runs. It's going to be fine. And if you get bored, an easy way to break up the boredom, or if your legs feel dead and you want to wake them up again, really easy to do that is to throw in some strides. What's the easiest way to access the rebuild strength when I'm in maintain? Because I want to do both without having two training plans and training peaks. Good question. I really should look that over. There isn't one right now, but we haven't made July yet. If this is a thing, okay, in maintain and rebuild tomorrow, coaches, do me a favor, Kavlin, if you're still watching, ask everyone that question. If you are here and because I can't see it, I have no way of knowing this. I really wanted to make this program easy for people to take what they needed and just move around, but without making it overly complicated. So, which is why we didn't break the strength and the running up, because also low key, I was afraid that if I didn't give you the strength in the same plan, you guys just wouldn't download it. So I wanted to take that option away from you. But I hadn't thought of it this way. If there are lots of people who want to do that, then we're still going to put the run and strength plans together, but then I don't think it would be too much work. I'll double check with Susan and Sarah. I don't think it would be too much work to make the run plan, then make the strength plan, then copy the strength plan over to the running plan so that there would be a couple of options out there. I'll think it through and not just think out loud, but you guys need to let me know that you want that option. And thank you for bringing it up. Because this is a 5-person rule, right? If 5 people want it, we do it. So There. Speak up, speak out, let me know. Okay. I've been locked up like a tiger in a cage. Not so much a Carol Baskin tiger, more like Daniel Tiger. Oh my gosh. But still, so I want to start increasing my long runs on Saturday. I feel like I want to do a 3 and a half hour long run. Any specific modifications I should make to the plan? For example, should I take Thursday off? Should I back off 10% all the runs that week? I feel you. I love these questions because when the crazier my family and my kids get, the more and longer I want my runs to be. So I need to be out of this house. I want to be out for 3 hours. Could we do an ultra? I might want to go for 2 hours later tonight. Okay. So so if you want to do that 3 to 3.5 hour long run this week, I need to know what your long run was last week. Generally speaking, I don't have a problem with this. My problem, and I don't necessarily say increase your days off, but rather make sure that your days off you actually are resting. If the person asking this question is Dan, who lives in New York, New Yorkers walk on average 5 to 7 miles a day because it's just that much to get around. Let's pick one day where you just don't leave your apartment. Maybe if you can get away with it, that could be fine. Have everything brought to you. I wouldn't necessarily back off 10% on all the runs that week. Here's what it is, y'all. The science of the 10% rule doesn't really exist. It's a rule of thumb. And it's like, okay, it's not a good idea to increase every single run, every single week, both in duration and intensity. So we can pull one lever or the other, which we're going to pull at a time. I would not back off the time. I would think about backing off the intensity just for a week or two, let your body adjust. And if you finish that long run, and let's say you do a 3 hour long run, because the difference between a 2.5 hour and a 3 hour long run, if it's you want to do it and you're not doing it because you're scared, but you genuinely want to be out there a little bit longer, you're probably good to do it, honestly. As long as you're not increasing every other run, increasing your strength, or increasing the intensity. Like, I know it says 10K pace, but I really want to do 5K pace. And I know it says 10 minutes, so I really want to do 20. So then I'd be fine. Like, just extend the long run by 30 minutes. That's fine. I'd rather not by an hour in the first go, but by 30 to 40 minutes. Why not? Just keep the whole thing easy. I would just be cognizant of it going through this week. So rather than cutting back the time that you spend on your feet, let's cut back the intensity. So if you were going to do something, let's do the harder workout as written on Monday, and then just think about it on Wednesday. If you wake up on Wednesday, you still feel Monday, in your system at all, just make that avocado toast and get ready to extend it on Sunday. That is the only modification I would recommend, and you don't necessarily have to make it. It's not like a thou shalt, but rather just this is the time to really tune into your body. There are no bad ideas, only I ate too much, I don't feel good, so I'm going to run more. That's the sort of thinking I really want to put a clamp down on. But for the person who's like, I really need to get out of this house more, we can do that. We can do that unless you're coming back from an injury, and then we need to make sure that we're coming back nice and slowly because we don't want to go back into the tiger den every single day for way too long. So there we go. Yep, these are Kokite. Thank you. I love these earrings too. I'm going through the comments now. Yes, I appreciate you. Sorry I didn't get back to you faster today. My phone kept dying. Aaron, my phone is ready to go on strike. Turns out Blackberries don't like being in the sun. I don't know that iPhones fare much better, but I'm having trouble finding some sort of like a cooling sleeve for my Blackberry. It's like I'm burning the candle at both ends. My poor phone is too, because I'm on like Signal and Discord and like there are like 5 different messaging platforms that I have to use when I'm out, because they block the communication signals for some and scramble others, and it is so ridiculous. I'm not in the military. I don't want to be doing this stuff. It's military stuff. I was sure the link is to that broadcast. I was at the link to the fundraiser for Kavlin. Kavlin, come back in, put your link to your fundraiser. There it is. Yes, these are definitely Kokite. So fun. That is it. Thank you. Boring is the best. The best. Girls on the Run does not turn a girl away for the inability to pay. The fundraiser helps them offer scholarships, shoes, clothes, and even sports bras to those who need it. That is huge. Sports bras are huge. I am still in awe of how many people I know that only started running recently because of two brands. Don't put me on the spot because I shouldn't open my mouth to say, but there are like two brands that now are like super duper large on the market that were not options before. And I'm a 36 AA, so I have no idea what they're talking about, but they work real good for big ones and they can run, and they've never been able to before. So changes in availability in the plus size market, both in bras and shoes, have expanded the sport in really amazing ways. So clothes are everything. If you have paid, you can have both plans and make custom rules. Oh, look at you, Susan. Yeah, I figure there's an answer. We'll think about it. It is totally fine to be in both Facebook groups. We're so cool with that. We don't care. We don't care at all. We want you to have whatever you want. We want you to have the community that you need at any given time. We are never going to kick you out of the Facebook group as long as you're a paying client. We're good. Easier. Yay. All right. Well, that is everything. You are coached. You are loved. And no matter what is happening to you this week, just the fact that you're here trying to take care of yourself, trying to advocate for yourself, trying to advocate and create a space safe for you to wander through this world. You are, in fact, winning at life. Don't forget to support Coach Kavlin and to listen to the latest podcast. We've been doing a lot lately. Coach Nakia did an Instagram takeover. We've been sharing this to the Facebook page. Go in there and say hi to Coach Nakia. And honor of all the stuff going on. If you want to hit her with a tip on Venmo, feel free to do that as well. Coach Nakia, I think, might still be working on that big bottle of whiskey that she bought herself yesterday, but we will circle back around and share her Venmo information if anyone wanted to say thank you in a tangible way. There you go. But that is never required, but showing gratitude is just never a bad idea. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic week.